Okay. I don't even know what this recommended was. I don't watch Valorant, but whatever. Um, Game 2 of Loud versus Pain Gaming. Looking at the drafts, Azir and Draven for red side. Makes me think that there's a Kalista for blue side. I don't know, I was kind of distracted while I was showing the champions on the screen. Give me 1 second to see. Skip ahead. Okay, yeah. Draven into Kalista. I didn't already watch game 2, did I? Or is this just a salty run back with the draft? Hello? Is it just the exact same draft? Oh, wait, no, I did already watch game 2. Oh, right. At like 3 a.m. And I uploaded it. Okay, well, I guess I can go through draft for this one. Let's just speed it up, put it on 2x speed. Once again, same sort of standard bans. Pain doesn't really want to play against the Olaf. Pick that Robo showcased earlier. Likewise, Robo's banning the Jax. Still not sure if that's like a wise or special. I would assume so, since he's not like playing Gwen or anything like that. Kalista first rotationed, even though Zeri, Lulu, and Sivir Lulu is up. I guess maybe the AD carries on these teams aren't like the hyper carries, so their teams aren't comfortable putting them on late game scaling champs. They're valuing like playmaking in the mid game over it. Still, Kalista and Mumu. Now that they don't have to play into the Draven, because they're the ones picking it, should be pretty decent. I like Silas so far. 2 pretty good ults to steal. Plus he has another melee engage in the Wukong. Kalista's pretty short ranged, so he's not going to get kited out. They should ban away the Azir. Yep, there it is. Just because that would make the team fights a little bit more difficult for the Silas champion. They could like, I don't think banning like any other mid champ is necessary. I think maybe you just ban like a top laner. I mean, I guess Tilly is fine, but like once again, like Tilly is annoying, but ultimately at the end of the day, her like combo range is fairly short relative to like a Victor or an Azir. So as long as Silas isn't playing alongside like the thin path of the pebbles, he should be fairly fine. If he's flanking from like one side and the Wukong's coming from here, Talia can only stone one of them. No Tabiona, so they're just indexing into an all-in team comp. I like the Aatrox, he really thrives in these kinds of compositions. There's no one who can really full one-shot him. And he's able to just soak damage and then heal it back up if they can manage to get a kill. Not our Aatrox trade. I mean, it's fine. I think Pain have to get an early lead, but I think it should be pretty easy to do with the Kalista and Mumu priority. I think Wukong's really weak unless he's in a 1v1 situation until he has his ultimate. So I think it's pretty realistic for Pain to be able to get an early lead. Let's look at the start, and we'll go back to real time. Cleanse for both AD carries here. Makes sense, but the supports are heavy engage champs. Bronze also gets the additional value of being able to cleanse like an Ari Charm or a Sejuani ult. Unfortunately for Trigo, there's really no other things he can cleanse except for like, I guess, an R stun. Oh, I guess Silas E. But like, if he's getting hit by Silas E, then like, what's happening in their team fights? It's already doomed. Still, good of both of them to take the cleanse. Ari opting for Ignite and Electrocute in this lane, actually. Really has to utilize the Ignite then to get like good back timers, because without TP, you can't go for like the standard base timings that you normally would with like Spellbook TP. So he needs to use like, oh, Croc looking for an early invade onto the blue buff, doesn't find it, and then just does a transition gank mid, doesn't find anything there. That's actually really bad for the Wukong. Like, he's wasted so much of his time. Because he had to do this camp, right? At the same time, Sejuani has already done this camp and has started this camp. And by the time he clones over the wall, gets down here, he says Sejuani killing the Gromp, and Sejuani just goes, hi, I'm leaving. So he decides, I've got to get down to the bot side of the map, otherwise if I run all the way back here and do my Raptors, Sejuani will just be turbo ahead. At the end of the day, she still is, I think this is Troll by Karyok. Like, you saw Croc rotate down here. Like, you know he's on this. I guess maybe he can fight over it. Yeah, bot lane's moving first. It's turning into a scuffle of this Scuttle Crab if... Unless they one-shot this guy. Oh, he gets the Gromp heal. Wow, that's so bad. Wow, and this guy misses. Oh my god. I think the idea is, like, debatably good or bad, but the execution by Pain was just atrocious here. Good flash by Trigo, at least. Manages to get one kill. But didn't Aphelios get both for the one Kalista kill? Oh no, Aphelios didn't get anything, actually. Actually, because the AD carry gets it, and because the support got one, it's decent for the side of Pain, even though they didn't get first blood. I think Wukong got first blood. I assume we'll get a replay as well. Oh, Trigo. Can he win that fight? Aphelios is about to switch guns, which means he has like more burst than you would expect, right? You can see here he has one Q and a few more autos left, and then his red gun has one Q left. Yeah, just manages to get some chip damage, because he's about to go green-blue. And if you hit like all 4 Qs on a target, especially with your minion wave, then like it's pretty dangerous. Okay, here's the replay. So, the reason why I think this call is a little bit troll is just because, like, I mean, he has both lanes pushing, right? So that's good for him, right? He'll have mana advantage if he pushes for this. But also, like, it's a huge gamble that he's gonna make it in time to begin with. Maybe Karyok does know the Wukong clear timers. But, like, he saw the Wukong on the mid wave as he was, like, about to start his red buff, right? So he should know the blue buff is gone, right? And he's assuming that the Wukong is on Gromp. But if the Wukong had unleashed the Gromp down here, right? Expecting an invade, or just playing more defensively in general because he's behind from his attempt to cheese up here, then I think it's harder for Karyok to force. He does end up pulling it as Karyok is coming in, which is correct. And then the other reason I think it's troll is this. Karyok smote his red. So, like, unless Croc smote blue, and if he had smote blue, this thing would probably already be dead by now. Like, you can't secure this Gromp, and Smite plus Gromp heal is a full HP bar, plus he's going to level up, so that's increased stats. And right now, your AD carry, even though they have the wave push, if Aphelios just decides, fuck the wave, we're team fighting, like, now it's 3v2. And that's basically what happens here. Amumu actually hits a really good combo onto the Wukong. If the Sejuani isn't stunned here by the Leona, I think she just flashes immediately and kills him. But Wukong gets the timing to smite, you see the heal come through, and then the Gromp heal comes through. Miss flash, W. Maybe it would have hit if Croc flashed into it, actually, but he wouldn't have died anyways. And then the Amumu tries to follow up blind. Misses. Maybe he should have just turned onto, like, Bronze. Like, your AD carry is sort of close. You're not going to finish this guy, right? You have no ignite. Your E might be up. But you've already used both your Q stacks, so, like, this is the extent of your damage. And then he just wastes flash and dies. And then from there, it's just so fucked. I disagree with this Aphelios flash, I think. And the Leona flash, honestly. Both of these are so troll. Like, I mean, the Aphelios one is justifiable, right? He wants to last at the kill. They don't have the exact Like, they want to just finish the kill as fast as possible, and he wants the double buffs, obviously, because if he gets a red buff here, then this bitch is dead. Leona should have just, like, if she doesn't flash, Trigo has to stay here to finish the kill. If she flashes up, he has to commit further into the jungle and towards the Wukong. But since he flashes back over this wall, which gives Trigo an excuse to flash over, and has an auto-attack target to get Martial Poise down this way, finishes the kill and just gets to walk out for free because of that. Like, I don't know. That Leona flash is really troll. Obviously, though, just heat of the moment. He's trying to stay alive. Flashes over a wall because he assumes, like, that's the safest way to flash. And it ends up costing their team a kill. Could have been a 3-0 fight. Overall, though, Wukong's pretty far ahead. Has the Sheen. Looking for an invade now. We'll manage to get the Krugs, I think. Oh, don't show? Okay, good, good. I thought he was going to walk and show on the bot wave. Holy, what's going on in the top lane? Robo's just getting a little bit fisted, no? I mean, that's what Comet Aatrox, like, allows over the Conquer Aatrox in a lane like this. But he didn't seem to be doing as well in the last game. Maybe he just found a good timing for that fight. E down on Robo. Dive coming through. Good CC chain onto Trigo. Cleanse comes through. A little bit dicey there for a second. Bronze is actually going to die for it. Wow, actually, really botched dive. The CC chain was solid, considering the cleanse. But the tower tanking was awful. Bronze starts the tank. And then, like, I don't know. Like, your Wukong needs to be the one to start tanking the tower if you want to all three get out. And if you're just accepting that one person will die, then the Leona should go in first. It's a little bit greedy. Gets hit by the charm, takes some damage back. It sucks to lose your pink ward like this, but at least, like, he gets wave control off of it. Like, for 75 gold, he gets to get a base timing now if he wants, because the art decided to clear it. She could hold the wave, but she's pushing, so yeah, just base and run back. Miser is just unable to hit Q3s, though. Robo has the level advantage. If he ignores into the wall and gets the bonus damage off of it, then I think... Oh, level 6? Good kite back. Overall, really net positive trade for Weiser, or for Robo. But just to get the Aatrox ult out, which has lower cooldown than our ult. And unless he, like, fucks up really hard, like, the Aatrox ult is the only way for him to get killed. And he comes out with a health positive trade. Although, it looks like he's just going to reset, and Weiser's going to get the honey fruit. So at the end of the day, like, the health trade doesn't super matter, but... Nice playing. Neither of them overcommitted and end up inting for it. Somehow the Sejuani has ended up, like, monster ahead of the Wukong in terms of camps. This dude has 1 camp left on the map, and Sejuani has 2, 1 spawning, I guess 1 spawning for Wukong as well. And she's up in CS. Once again, the biggest loser of all the bot plays has been the Aphelios by far. He's just getting assists. He's giving CS to commit to these plays, dying for this one down here, and the Wukong's the one getting fed, not him, so, like, sucks. Okay, like, Weiser, could you make it any more obvious that your jungler is ganking you? Like, he's just running into a 20 minion wave, throwing his whole combo out at the guy. He gets pulled back, but they know Solace is missing, so they don't want to commit to the fight. Herald for Drake trait. I think, honestly, like, it's kind of hard. I think Riot did it. Actually, I'll rare praising Riot moment. Oh, flash force from Trigo, and they'll get the red buff steal into a Drake take. I think buffing both of the neutral objectives in the early game was smart. I think the trades are a lot more even now. because you're not contingent on getting like max plate value for this to be super worth it. And also like the first two dragons are useful due to the stat buffs. I think it introduces more variety rather than just creating metas where everyone 5v5s over this thing because for some reason they don't want to lose like the turret plates, the herald, and at the same time like they feel more comfortable like trading with the dragon because it's worth something. I don't know. I think I like metas where there are options, right? Because even though you don't get the local gold in the previous Herald patches, right? Like the first strike legit doesn't fucking matter. Even if it's like an infernal, like the stats are so pitiful. Honestly, I think the highest value you could find is if like it's a mountain dragon and you have like an Ornor champion like that, or the enemy team has someone who's going a pen build or like a lethality build, and so like it sucks to like lose a mountain drake. But aside from those niche circumstances, right? You pretty much are getting what 5-minute delayed soul or one step closer to soul for the possibility of a team taking 5 platings, which is like a 1.5k gold swing because it's first tower and all 5 plates, and they get more control of the map because they get a tower off of it. So like you're kind of forced to fight this, or you're forced to try and trade platings, but you have to posture the fight because if you don't posture the fight, then they'll just keep their carry down here. So it's like I don't know. I just don't think that like the thought process behind it showcases like team strengths as well. Whereas like here, like maybe you do have to fight this because like it is a lot of gold to lose the Herald, but maybe it is better to trade this game because like yeah, there's still the soul, like we're closer to soul, but also like maybe that like additional dragon stats like is going to get you some value, right? Like having the ocean drag for Robo in this lane is going to help him against the Aatrox a pretty decent amount, right? He is D-Blade and he's regenning about the amount you would have with the D-Shield. He basically has a free D-Shield in this lane now. So Riot, I think the best example Riot has flash forced out from Bronze. Mispositioning error. Just get away with his life though. Shouldn't be any big fights. He's standing on a ward. Kind of greedy. I think the best example in terms of like intelligent trading that the game enables is like Baron for Elder, right? There are games where Baron is better than the Elder. Because if the enemy team has a comp that can't like wave clear, like even though they have the Elder, because it lasts shorter, right? You're just not able to like break through a siege, right? I think if you're behind, Baron is for sure better than Elder. If you're trading the objectives, right? Obviously, if you're fighting over them, like that's different, right? But if you're like 5k gold down and the enemy team takes Elder Dragon and they don't have any like super long range poke, and you have like decent disengage on your team and you get the Baron, then you can just stall the game out. And when you're down in gold, stalling is always better for you. Because you need to catch up in your gold. Whereas like if you're up 5k in gold, right? And you go for the reverse trade where you take the Baron, I think there's like mixed value, right? You just have to be careful that you don't get engaged on. Oh, good flash stun by the Gnar. Flash away by the Aatrox. Good secure on the kill by Wukong. I'll talk about this play more when it comes to the replay, but back to my initial... Oh, Ahri dashing forward. Hits a charm onto the Wukong, but probably won't be able to find any more. Carrot doesn't have ult, so they kind of lack the ability to follow up. Anyways, like... Whereas, like, if you're a team that's ahead in gold, right, and you take Baron, and the enemy team takes Elder, I think that trade is not as intelligent. Obviously, like, once again, champions are a huge, like, factor in these, so, like, this isn't, like, a blanket statement, but, like, just generally assuming, right, if you have the Baron and you're up in gold, you're pushing into the enemy's base, right? You're on the offensive, so your vision control needs to be even better, because if the enemy team does get a flank off with the Elder Dragon, it can make up for that massive gap in gold, right? But on the other hand, right, if the teams are equal in footing, Dragon gives a lot more value in terms of like raw stats and team fight capabilities. So if you're jockeying for like control of the Rift, right, and one team took Baron and one team took Elder, the Baron won't get as much value because the Elder players can split up, right? One player with an Elder buff on them can probably 1v2 as long as like obviously like the champion situations are equal, right? Obviously like a support and a tank jungle aren't gonna 1v2 a Fed AD carry even if they have Elder. Which means like the Elder team will get control of the side lanes because the Baron team really just needs to turtle in their base, and if they split up, there's a chance of collapsing and then man advantage with the Elder, and you lose control of the Rift, and then your Baron buff's meaningless. So like, suffice it to say, I just like where meaningful decisions around objectives have solid impact on the game. And you don't just have to ooga booga fight for like objectives. But obviously you don't want to give anything away for free. So like obviously losing a soul and its stats still suck. So teams are incentivized to fight for this, right? Robo dashes forward, gets a 2-man stun. Oh, can he still get the massive move ult off? Looks like they're just gonna team fight wipe. Holy. Pretty good engage by Robo, but also I'm just surprised that these two players lack the ability to click flash or ult. Like, are they just perma CC'd? Karyok did what he could in that fight. He stunned to the Solace as he flashed in, and he wasn't able to perfectly CC Jane the Amumu. You'll see in the replay here. I guess I'll have to keep my eye on the Sail Shockwave. So like the fight starts off, right? Tinons knocks the Sejuani passive off, whatever. Trigo split, right? Maybe they should wait for this guy to get closer, but obviously Dragon's getting low, and Karyok wants to smite fight it. Didn't mean to do that. I dislike the clumping against the Gnar, Silas holding a Mumu ult, and an Aphelios, and a Leona. Like, I think they should be spreading out more in an arc with their tanks more in front. But suffice it to say, Robo gets a good ult. Damage stuns him, right? Maybe a split second too late. I think this is the Amumu ult going off. The skin is just like purple, so it's harder to see. Like there's no like hard ring. Yeah, that was the stolen Amumu ult going off. Damn. Actually, if Karyok's just a fraction of a second quicker here. When does he start? He throws it right. If Silas hadn't flashed forward, right? And if he hadn't buffered flash ult, right? He still eats the glacial prison. He doesn't flash over it, but it still goes off because he buffered it. Just well played by the Silas. And also really confusing of the carries to just not be flashing any of this. Trigo isn't stunned by the Gnar, so he can flash this. Does cleanse it. But then the Leona lands onto him. Also, their champs are just like really useless right now because of the way the early game went. Once again, like their team comes more mid game, right? Once Costa has enough items and can like wombo properly with the Amumu, then I think they're more properly online. Crown coming through for Silas. I mean, it's decent. A lot of short range engage on this team. Plus, like, people just like the Crown more with the placebo AP buffs it got a while ago. Wukong's pretty fucking massive in this game, which really sucks because when Wukong's ahead, like, he can just dash in and murder everyone. That champion is so annoying when he's fed. He got someone in the top lane for Trigo. We'll give the gold over to him. Should be an objective bounty. It's traded for a bot tier 2. So technically it's even because of the objective bounty, but like a tier 2 is worth more than a tier 1. We'll see if they get a second crash off. It looks like it's defended by Wukong, so I don't think they will. Currently a 2k gold lead for the side of Loud. But obviously most of the gold lead is on the Wukong. Looks like the Gnar also Solid 30 CS lead. Oh, sweet. Gold. Yeah, Nor Wukong ahead. Trigo actually has more than I was expecting, but I guess he did just get that turret, and then yeah, the Arya is really hurting in gold. 700 down on the Silas. And yeah, the Aatrox is also just so gapped. Like, I don't know, just the reactions aren't coming through for this Pain Gaming roster. Aatrox, like, didn't ult, didn't flash, didn't do anything. He just ate CC after CC and died. And, like, yeah, like, that's what the loud comp is supposed to do. Honestly, I think this is a game where you should be going. Like, he's going Comet, um, Eclipse for the Gnar, right? Gnar's a squishy champion. And while I do like Eclipse Aatrox, and I think it's generally more useful than Gore Drinker, because you are afforded the same amount of healing for a massive increase in damage and slight decrease in tankiness. I think this is a game where Conqueror Gore Drinker is just fat value. Mega is melee, 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 short range AD carry if he's fighting with red, white, and team fights. You can get 5-man Gore Drinks off. You can itemize into your Death Stance really efficiently so you don't get just CC'd until you die. Because you have Death Stance, you can afford to go Merc Treads because you already have armor in the build. Like, I think this is a troll build by Wiser. This Aatrox jump is going to be really useless for the rest of the game. Because, and the other thing, right? Because he goes blue, he can't go yellow-green, so he doesn't get both the Tenacity runes. If he has both Tenacity runes plus Tenacity boots and has a Death Stance, this champion, no matter how long he's stunned by the Gnar and the Leona and like a stolen Amumu ult for, he shouldn't die in that window. Because they're trying to kill these two in that window, and then he can turn. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Aphelios seems to have his guns on the proper cycle, from what I've noticing. Solid by Bronze. It's kind of slowed down. Cloud Soul, so unfortunately for Loud, their early gamble of like betting on the Soul is like meh. They have some champs that are good with Soul, right? Like Wukong's pretty insane with Soul. Silas, if he like takes the Aatrox, is pretty good. But aside from that, none of the other Souls, like Leona, doesn't really matter. Aphelios doesn't really matter. Gnar doesn't really matter. Aatrox would love it, but unfortunately his team is not in a position to take the Soul anytime soon. And Ari would also like it, whereas these three don't really care. So it's like a mediocre Cloud Soul game. But at the end of the day, Soul's a Soul. They're closer to Elder with it. Controlling the objectives. And, for what it's worth, like, I guess the Gnar will appreciate the slow resistance against Aatrox. Allows you to, like, run out of his W easier, because you're not slowed as much. Aside from that, there's really no other slows. Like, there's, like, Sejuani W, but, like, that's whatever. I guess there's Callista Rend, but, once again, there's not, like, a ton of them. Same, like, on the other hand, like, on this team, they have, what, Gnar slow, Q slow, Gravitum, I guess Glacial slow, but, like, I don't know. Unlucky game for console. But luckily for Loud, they still have the gold lead despite losing both heralds. Wow, looks like Painter just going for a Hail Mary Baron play. Not bad, considering that I think there's more members than necessary for this Cloud Dragon take. Down to 6k HP, plus they have the smite confirmed. They should be able to get this unless Robo, like, monster engages here. Mumu ult with the Gnar. Early Mumu ult to stomp the Silas from getting into the pit. Kind of chose the ultimate. Robo should die here. Good cleanse. Is Trigo able to kite? Dashes forward. That was a misclick. Will he die for it, though? I'll show it in the replay, but Trigo doesn't auto-attack properly on the Calista there. Still, Baron, 3 for 1. Like, the 3 for 1 sucks, but you get away with 2 Barons. when you have no business like having it at all in the game. They basically are they come back like 4K in the gold lead off of that. Not 4K. I think they were down 4K and now they're down 1K, so like 3K. Delay the dragon timer too, which is actually pretty useful for them. Smart decision to not greed and try and finish the Drake. So we'll have another look at this, right? Damage is just playing to stall the Solace from getting like a 5-man ult or a 4-man ult here, which I think is fine. Who's that flashing? Was that Robo flashing or the Ari? Who's Ari flash? Why is she flashing there? I want to see. Okay, Nard W. She flashes the W to get... Actually, I think that's a good positioning. Like, she fixes her position. Flashes a spell that she would have had to flash anyways. Damage is just fucking dead here. The call here should just be to, like, try and run. You're not going to win this fight. You can see the Aphelios and the Wukong on the wards. Like, even if they're now, like, somewhat even in gold, they haven't spent it, right? So effectively, on the Rift at this current moment, they're still 4K down. So fighting is pretty hopeless now that you've already lost your Mumu ult and your Sejuani ult. I think your Aatrox ulted as well. So you see here, good cleanse from Trigo, gets stunned by the Gnar, and then it's right here. He dashes forward. Yeah, he dashes forward once while autoing the Leona into her Q range. And I guess her Q's not up, but like still. It kind of fucks like the space he was buying. I think that's a pretty... Like, I mean, I guess he's not on the Leona E range anyways. Like, that's the spell he needs to dodge, but... I don't think his flash was up either, even though it's up now. Pretty sure it was like a minute off cooldown in that fight. Actually, fuck it. It's a VOD review. Why don't we just check? Oh yeah, his flash is down. Did he flash into the pit? It looks like it was just freshly burned. Is that a spectator bug? It's down right now. Where did he burn it? Did Robo try and ult him? Gnar ult down. Yeah, I guess Robo, like, Trigo was over here and he tried Gnar ulting and Trigo flashed in. Would be my guess. Like, why are they here, though? You're for sure man down. Why are they even looking for a fight? You have the Baron. Sejuani ult hits the support. Good stomp punch by Seos. Bailed out by the Callisto ult, but are they just gonna get run down? Oh, nope, Mumu goes back in. I guess he wants to show off his stopwatch too. That guy dies. Silas and Aatrox are here. Gnar gets a pretty good, flash forward by Bronze. Wow, he is just... I mean... What's going on, man? Good sidestep by that guy. He needed to sidestep the Silas chain instead of looking for an auto there. Actually could have won it, I think. Holy. Did a lot of damage at the end there. The Amumu is somehow alive at the end of all this, too. We'll just have another play, but, like, before it even starts, I just want to make it clear that, like, I think this is troll. The enemy team is so low range, and you have Baron for 2 lanes, right? Unless they want a 1-3-1, you can just go to the 2 lanes that are there and sit in your Baron range and make sure that they can't push in. Like, you don't need to be looking for this fight. I don't actually know if the Sejuani... It didn't go far back enough. I don't know if Sejuani, like, successfully skirted this vision or if she showed here and they were aware that she was hugging right here. But anyways. Misses the ult, right? Which you probably weren't going to hit anyways. Stun onto the Leona. I guess they didn't do their stopwatch check because they don't know that she doesn't have stopwatch. If she doesn't, this is actually a good pick, right? Leona squishy, Kishua, and Glacial Augment. Really easy to kill. Now you have man advantage on the map, and you have Baron. But instead, really good stop punch by Seos. You now have Sejuani ult down. Callisto ult goes down. Ari ult is 2 charges down. Solar Flare, like, could be better, but, like, Seos is out of this fight. He's just getting his last cooldown out. Forces one Ari dash away and slows down Carryox disengage. Wukong is just able to go in, gets a decent knockup. And then the Gnar... Oh, damage flashes out here. That's why he's alive at the end of the play. Like, they know Weiser's coming up from the river. He was on the bot wave till like 10 seconds ago. But Robo just makes the call, like, that he can go for this. Flash ult. Unfortunately, Kalista doesn't hit the wall and then he misses boulders. Like, this sucks. But the Aphelios is on the same page as him, so he's flashing forward. This bitch has no more escape. She's dead. And then this Aatrox is just not ahead enough to, like, one-shot an AD carry. If he has 2 or 3 items, like, I think the Aatrox could kill Bronze and maybe 1v5 the game here, but he's just behind in gold. He just gets rooted with Gravitum, and then CC chains, and dies. Actually, I don't think Solace... I think Solace should have stuck on the Amumu. Maybe he was worried Amumu would solo kill him, but, like, I don't think any help was needed for Trio. Wait, the Aatrox fucking went Death Stance anyways. Like, I think Death Stance is a good item in this game, but, like, if you're going the Eclipse build and you go Eclipse Death Stance, like, you have no fucking damage. Where's the damage? Where's the CDR? I used to get, like, 10 from DD, but not, like, the 20, 25 you should be getting from rushing Seryldo second, or a different lethality item second. I think this guy's trolling his build. Ahri opted for Leandri's, which I think is fine. It's not the most common mythic on Ahri, just because, like, Everfrost is good for her kit, but obviously Everfrost was nerfed a little bit ago. Then now Swift's ultimate, it's whatever. No crown popped, so I think fine overall. But I think, like, Shadow Flame without a pen mythic or without a pen boots is, like, really fucking atrocious by this guy. Like, sure, he's the only AP on his team. I guess, like, Amumu kind of is. And no one's going to be building MR. But, like, you just... I'm pretty sure you get more damage out of going Horizon Focus or Rabadons. I think this is a bad item to build in this situation. Especially because, like, they don't have any shields. The only shield is Bloodthirster shield, like XD. I mean... I guess Rabadons is fine. I don't know how, like, powerful the interaction between Crown Passive and Rabadons is, but, like, maybe it's goated. I think you're really short on CDR for a Silas build, though. Going Zhonya's third, so I guess it's fine. And Chempunk Rush is good by the Gnar. He's the Grievous. Gnar's, like, everything after Gnar's mythic item is sort of just, like, whatever. So it's, like, easiest for him to build it. Whereas, like, the Wukong wants, like, Thunder, Cleaver, Death Stance. The Silas wants a CDR. Like, they can't really afford. Fight breaks out. Massive Aphelios ult. They're just tanking gold down. Good cleanse by the Kalista, but she's not really able to partake in these fights just because she's such a low-range AD carry. And the lethal tempo Aphelios is gunning her down while she's not able to properly chew through the targets on the enemy team. This is why... I guess I can get into why I think Kalista is a weaker champion lately. Kalista has always been a champion that scales with attack speed because of the nature of her E. In the past, I think she was decently powerful because you would rush Bork on the champion, like pre-item rework. And with Bork, Gwynsu's, even though you're one of the lowest range AD carries, you just melt tanks because you rip through their HP like nobody's business. Which is powerful, right? But when the item rework happened, you can't afford to go Bork anymore because, like, the double lifesteal value of Bork's shield bow is just kind of meh. It's too much of, like, a dip in your power from getting your shield bow Gwynsu spike. And Bork doesn't really help Gwynsu's anymore. Bork, I don't know, in some twisted turn of fate, has become an item that's only really valuable on tanks because they're able to just abuse the HP damage on the passive and tankiness. I don't know, that item needs a rework. But so basically, what this means is Callista is like an HP. She's sort of like a drain tank AD carry whose auto attacks really deal zero fucking damage, and she's just playing to outlast you for like 15 seconds in a team fight till she has enough spears to one shot you. So it's like when you're playing into three tanky champs who all have solid engage tools on you, it's just so difficult. Just kind of walked over in the team fight and lose. Like, this is the correct build from Trigo. Maybe he could go GA instead of Runeens, but also you want the Runeens for your team fight damage, so it's like hard. Harryhawk's trying to find a way in. He actually has the timing decently down, but okay, this is how you defend a Baron. You stump the damage, and you all fucking make sure that this bitch can't get in. Like, what was the team where they just the Gnar was just AFK in the pit? Oh, it was in one of the JDGTS games. Like, I think it was it Wayward? Wayward was just AFK in the pit, and Kanavi just walks over on Vine, flash smites it. Like, huh? Now Louder just stomping the shit out of Pain. Holy. Trying to get vision control of the map. Obviously, the map is really dark for Pain. Baron Siege. Honestly, I think they should be able to end on this Baron Siege. There's not a lot of wave cleared from the side of Pain. They're also short range, so like you should just be able to take inhibs. Okay, maybe ending was an exaggeration. They should be able to get these two inhib towers with the 2 minutes they have left on their Baron. I don't think they should be able to get much more, so Pain should just not lose their heads, like, except that your inhibs are going down, your 7k gold down. In their heads, they probably think they're even more down because of this kill graph. Oh wow, looks like a lot do want to try and end. Maybe they can. If they do try and end, then obviously Pain have to try and engage. But like, who do you engage on? Red, white? Ult comes through. Maybe they can one-shot the Gnar before he goes Mega. Dash back. Good. Lock it. Aatrox is stunned. It's actually a decent-looking fight for Pain. Weiser's getting one shot. Oh my god, and Trigo is just fucking caught. But like, what can he do? He needs to be on the front line as Callista. Health balls are also low. Like, this fight could have been massive for Pain, but they're just so far down. I mean, I've never seen this guy hit a Q3 on his Aatrox once in this series. I actually don't think they'll be able to end the game, though. They just deal a mortal wound to the enemy team. Actually, maybe they can. Ahri misses her whole combo. Yeah, they can end. I thought maybe if Ahri could get, like, 2 champs before the tower dies. Clean game by Loud, though. Congrats to them. Should be pretty sick to see them at Worlds.